better here. I think I was always looking at you guys because I couldn't see everybody over here.
Okay.
Question?
Well, can you just raise your hand so that we can see how many questions? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's start from you. Yes. Yes, please.
Okay, good evening. My question is for Mrs. Thurs. I want to ask, what's the best way to be culturally intelligent in an environment where you know you have close to different religions, people they have different ideas, and you live amidst them? What's the best way to be culturally intelligent without offending anyone, and at the same time giving them values of your own culture?
Right. It's a very good question. And I have to say, GAU, and this isn't like promo thing, but this is like the perfect place. You don't have anything like this in the States, where you have so many people from so many different countries that are around. The best way to not offend is to listen. Listen to what the other person says. Don't speak without thinking. And this is the difficult thing. I mean, some people are more oral, some people are I'm actually more of a listener, I'm not a talker, okay? The people that have more of a difficulty are the speakers. People who just speak, you have to learn to listen and think first, then reply, right? And speak in a tone like this, right? You can tell what our other, thank God, was talking about emotions. Emotions, of course, can change your tone, and that'll trigger. Emotions trigger things. But if you're able to actually sit and listen to somebody else and their views and their ideas, then you can respond and not offend. Oh, how about? What do you think? Really? You know, kind of talk and, learn how to talk, learn how to communicate. Right? Like this.
Let's proceed to the second question. Yes, please.
Good evening. I'd like to ask Mrs. Wilson. I want to know possible ways of avoiding categorical thinking.
Yeah. Possible ways. Actually, well, now it's becoming more culturally aware, changing your mindset. Okay? Removing the kind of ethnocentric thinking. You actually have to become aware of your own biases first. Now, the first place that I start, and I'll use these examples in class, I'm from California. I've met a couple people from Boston. Maybe you guys have heard my Boston story, right? And basically, I have my own story. Okay, these two people I've met there, they're all cold, they're all rude, right? And this is my own bias. I have to recognize I have a bias now. You know, are all people in Boston rude? No, they're not, right? No, they're not rude. So the only way to kind of change this categorical thinking, that would have been I'm categorizing people in Boston, right? You get it, a group of people. Okay, because I met two, they're all rude. The only thing is to say that I'm recognizing that I'm biased. I'm culturally biased myself. You know, and that's actually a hard thing to do for some people, because people don't want to think that they're biased, or they don't want to think that they're racist, prejudiced, or discriminatory. I think people naturally do want to be good, okay? I really do think they do. You know, nobody wants to think this, but you got to be careful now. You know, what we're watching on television, the people you're hanging out with, the way people are speaking and the words that they use. You know, you have to pay attention to this. So breaking the categorical thinking is just, you know, being more aware that we do have differences, and actually it's okay to be different, right? It's just you got to respect people and their traditions and their histories.
But is it possible to fall into this categorical thinking, probably due to fear of unknown or
Yeah. I think that would be even more so, because, I mean, think of it this way. Something you have not encountered before, if you don't know it, you're prejudging instantly. This is because you don't know this environment, you just met someone, you've met a few people, and the way they're acting, the things they're saying, you haven't been around it before. So you start click, click, click. You start, you know, and fear will definitely do it, you know. Yes.
Yeah, I think this is us versus you. And I'm sending this question to Dr. Samson. Do you think that the society actually shape religion? Do you think that people, because of the society, society determines the religion people go into? Like you find people in a new society that encourage this type of religion, and because of that they diversify? Or do you think it's actually religion that shapes the society?
That's a very intelligent question.
Yeah.
Actually, I believe that religion is on a personal, belief, and then since it's not, it's not like a common shared value that anyone just, although it can be influenced, okay, but in a large extent, I meant, it's very important for you to know that definitely personal belief that we have can actually, go a long way in determining or making a decision as to what, how do I put it now, as to what type of religion we want to. It shouldn't be forced. When I was making the difference, between the two, I said earlier that, a lot of conflict in different nations today is because one way or the other, our environments want to influence what kind of religion, we should believe in. You understand? So if this be the case, then there will be a conflict and troubles, starting all over, things that have happened in time past, repeating itself even much more than what, as, before, such a community before or a nation before. So I believe that it is very important for individuals to note that we can be influenced either through different ways like political gains, money or whatever it is, but the end will not be very good. So it's very important for us to have a safe environment, safe society. Our personal belief in our God goes a long way to influence our environment positively, not what the world wants to use, either politically or any other medium, to influence us to believe where or how we should believe. So this is what I feel, yeah.
Okay. Can I forward a question? Professor Samson. As I recall,
Professor, yes.
Okay. I'm not really familiar with you, so I don't know the terminology of how to call you.
It's difficult.
But going back to the question, right? You were talking about the impact of religion, right? And to be honest, I was a bit dissatisfied with what you had to say, because we're really discussing the impact of religion, right? And you didn't really touch upon that religion breeds intolerance, hatred, prejudice, female genital mutilation, molestation of kids by the Catholic priests, suicide killings, shooting up abortion clinics, suspension of critical thinking, denial of evolution, denial of scientific-based evidence. All of that breeds that culture that we can't move on. Think of the 30-year war in Europe, right? People fought over who is right, Catholics or Protestants. They fought for 30 years, one of the bloodiest conflicts ever in the history of mankind. But what did they do? They signed the Westphalia Treaty. They said, okay, we shall move on from being governed by Catholic Church, but being governed by the people. We should do that now. And they moved away from the religious significance. And look at that. Now compare the most religious countries with the least religious countries. The least religious countries come from Western Europe, North America, the Asian countries, and look at their prosperity. Human index is high. The people are happy living there. Why do Syrians flee to Europe? Because they know if they go back to Muslim countries, for instance, they will face some harsh conditions over there, and they move to the least religious countries in Europe or North America, Canada, for instance. And I'm saying you didn't really touch upon the impact of religion as a broad topic. And my question is it time for humanity to finally embrace a rational thinking and the common sense that we are all in this boat together, and we have to do everything to have my neighbor feel good and everybody feel good? And religion stands as an obstacle because it divides us and separates us.
Not just religion, also culture. But to start with what you say, I've been given a topic to make a difference, an effect. So if I've not spoken about it, it doesn't mean that we can't still speak about it, okay? So I cannot actually take the whole impact and talk about it in 7 minutes I have, okay? So, but thank you for your contribution. Actually, to your question, I believe that it's possible for there to be a measure, I mean, in order to stop, to have a better community, a better global society as a whole. But if this will happen, then it will involve not just from the below to the top, it will involve from the very top. I mean, yeah, from the very top. I mean, medias, we have to play a major impact in this, major role. Why? Because if you notice, if you go to some, media, stations, you find out that the way they portray some countries, let's talk about cultural now, okay, values. The way they portray some countries, it makes other national to believe that this is what this country is all about, because that's what they make them to believe. Media has a way of playing with our psychology, thinking. Okay, so for us to have a better world whereby, prejudice will be probably curbed, if I'm not sure if it can be curbed anyway, but at least reduced to some certain level. We have to start from the top. Governments also have to play a major role, in order to also, find a better environment. Now, let me go to the religion part, which is your main focus. I think it also has to start with individuals.